Amazon, the bookstore that changed the world. Imagine starting a company in a garage selling books through a website, when most people didn't even believe people would shop online. Now imagine that tiny online bookstore becoming one of the biggest companies on earth. A company that delivers millions of products, runs one of the world's most important cloud computing businesses. Produces movies and television, operates smart devices, and has changed the way billions of people shop. That company is Amazon. But Amazon's story isn't simply about selling products. It's about taking enormous risks, thinking decades ahead, and repeatedly entering businesses that seemed completely unrelated to its original idea. This is the story of how Amazon went from a tiny online bookstore to a global business empire. This is Mr. Finspire, where business becomes a story. The story begins in 1994. Jeff Bezos was working in New York in the financial industry. He was successful, but he noticed something that caught his attention. Internet usage was growing incredibly fast. Bezos began asking himself a simple question: what could be built on the internet? He created a list of products that could potentially be sold online. Music, software, computers, clothing, and books. Books stood out. Why? Because a physical bookstore could only keep a limited number of titles on its shelves. But an online store could potentially offer millions. Bezos saw something bigger than a bookstore. He saw a store with almost no physical shelf limit. So he made a risky decision. He left his job. He moved to Seattle. And started building his company. The original name wasn't Amazon. It was called Cadabra. But Bezos eventually chose the name Amazon. Inspired by the enormous Amazon River. He wanted the name to represent something huge. Garage Amazon began in a modest setup. The company launched as an online bookstore in 1995. At the time, buying a book online wasn't normal. There was no Amazon app. No one-click shopping. No same-day delivery. And online payments were still unfamiliar to many people. Yet customers started ordering. The company shipped books from its early operations, and Bezos watched the orders come in. The business began growing. But Bezos wasn't focused only on selling books. He wanted Amazon to become the world's most customer-focused company. That philosophy would eventually become one of Amazon's greatest competitive advantages. Amazon eventually went public in 1997. But there was a problem. The company wasn't making traditional profits like an established retailer. Investors questioned whether the business model could work. And then, the dot-com bubble arrived. Internet companies were receiving enormous valuations. But in 2000, the bubble burst. Technology stocks collapsed. Hundreds of internet companies disappeared. Amazon's stock price suffered badly. Critics began questioning whether Amazon would survive. Some called the company overvalued. Others believed it would never become profitable. But Bezos continued investing. Instead of slowing down, Amazon expanded. More warehouses, more products, more technology, more customers. It was an extremely risky strategy. But Bezos was playing a different game. He wasn't thinking about the next quarter. He was thinking about the next decade. From books to everything. Amazon slowly moved beyond books, electronics, toys, clothing, home products, thousands of categories. Then Amazon introduced something extremely important: marketplace. Instead of Amazon selling everything itself, other businesses could sell products through Amazon. This transformed the company. Amazon didn't need to own every product. It could become the platform connecting sellers and customers. The more sellers joined, the more products became available. The more products available, the more customers came. And the more customers came, the more sellers wanted to join. Amazon had created a powerful network effect, the Prime Revolution. Then came another major innovation, Amazon Prime. Customers paid a membership fee and received faster shipping along with other benefits. At first, some people questioned the idea. Why would customers pay Amazon every year? But Amazon understood something. If customers became Prime members, they would have a reason to shop on Amazon more frequently. And the more they used Amazon, the more valuable Prime became. Eventually, Prime expanded beyond shipping, video streaming, music, deals, and other digital benefits. Amazon wasn't simply selling products anymore. It was building an ecosystem. Business that most people didn't see coming. But perhaps Amazon's most important business wasn't shopping. It was cloud computing. In the early 2000s, Amazon had built enormous amounts of technology to handle its website. Instead of keeping all that computing infrastructure only for itself, Amazon realized something. Other companies needed computing power too. So Amazon created Amazon Web Services, better known as AWS. Businesses could rent computing infrastructure through the internet. Instead of spending enormous amounts of money building their own data centers, companies could use AWS. Startups, banks, media companies, governments, technology businesses. Millions of organizations eventually came to depend on cloud infrastructure, and AWS became one of Amazon's most important businesses. This revealed something fascinating about Amazon. A company that began by selling books was now providing the infrastructure that helped power the internet itself, the delivery time. But Amazon still had another challenge. If you want to dominate online shopping, you need more than a website. You need logistics, warehouses, transportation, inventory systems, delivery networks. Amazon invested billions into building them. Fulfillment centers became increasingly automated. Algorithms predicted what customers might buy. Products were positioned strategically around warehouses. Orders were processed quickly, and delivery became faster. Two-day shipping became normal. Then, in many places, same-day and next-day delivery became possible. Amazon wasn't just competing with online stores anymore. It was challenging traditional retail. The warehouse had become part of Amazon's technology. Future. Amazon also began acquiring businesses that could strengthen its ecosystem. One of the most famous was Whole Foods, the supermarket chain. The acquisition showed that Amazon wasn't interested only in digital shopping. It wanted a stronger position in physical retail too. Amazon also expanded into devices. The Kindle changed how many people read books. Alexa brought voice technology into homes. Amazon developed its own entertainment business. Prime Video became a major streaming competitor, and Amazon entered industries far beyond the bookstore it once was. The biggest transformation. Then came another historic moment. In 2021, Jeff Bezos stepped down as Amazon's CEO. He was replaced by Andy Jassy. Bezos remained involved as executive chair. Think about what had happened. A company that began selling books online had become a global technology and retail giant. It had millions of customers, a massive logistics operation, a major cloud business, streaming services, devices, advertising, and businesses across multiple industries. The original idea had become almost unrecognizable, but one thing remained constant: customer obsession. The Amazon lessons. Amazon's story teaches several powerful business lessons. Lesson 1: think long-term. Amazon spent years investing before many of those investments produced major results. Bezos repeatedly emphasized long-term thinking. The lesson? Sometimes the biggest opportunities require patience. Lesson 2: start narrow, think big. Amazon didn't begin by trying to sell everything. It started with books. But the larger vision was always much bigger. A focused starting point can be the foundation for a massive business. Lesson 3: build systems, not just products. Amazon didn't only create a website. It built warehouses, delivery networks, cloud infrastructure, payment systems, and technology platforms. Strong businesses often win because of the systems behind their products. Lesson 4: keep reinventing yourself. Amazon could have remained an online bookstore. Instead, it entered cloud computing, streaming, advertising, devices, groceries, logistics, and much more. The company constantly asked, "What's next?" Lesson 5: customer experience can become a moat. Fast delivery, easy returns, huge selection, convenience, Prime membership. These aren't just features. Together, they create customer habits. And habits can become one of the strongest competitive advantages in business. The final chapter. Today, when someone orders a product online, gets it delivered to their door, watches a movie through a streaming service, or uses cloud technology, they may unknowingly interact with the legacy of an idea that began in 1994. A simple question: what can the internet become? Jeff Bezos didn't know the exact answer, but he was willing to experiment. He started with books, then expanded, then reinvented, then expanded again. Amazon's greatest lesson